Welcome, folks. Chumash and Rashi, the Torah portion, Vayechi, the last Torah portion of the book of Bereshit, of Genesis, 12th Torah portion. We're in chapter 48, verse number 10. So, learning that Yaakov, Jacob, Israel is getting old. He is going to pass on, and he is calling for has his son Yosef together with his two sons that yesterday were incorporated as his grandsons were like his sons, meaning that they were like one of the tribes of Israel. And we continue with the story. Verse 10. The Einei Yisrael, in the eyes of Israel, Jacob, in other words, Kovdu, were heavy, which means impaired, right? Mizaikim, because of his old age. La yuchal lirais, he was not able to see. V'yigash Hoysam, Elav, and he brought his sons near to him. V'yishak lahem, and he kissed them. V'yichag lahem, and he embraced them. Right. So Joseph brought his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, before him. Okay. Vayemer Yisrael al Yosef. And Israel said to Yosef, to his son, Ra'oi, seeing your face, I did not hope. And behold, shown me to me, God has shown to me. I'm translating it, as I've said many times, in a way that it's not very good, not a good translation in English, but that way you get the words. Okay. So, and not only that, but behold, God, He's shown me to me, God, Gam Esarecha, also your children, right? Rashi, Lai filalti. It's not a term that's usually used. Rashi says in 11, Loi milani libi, my heart did not fill. Milani means I did not fill my heart. In other words, I didn't dare to think. Lachshay machshava, to think a thought. That I would see your face again. Filalti lachshay machshava. Filalti denotes thinking. Kamehevi eitza asi falila. Like produce an idea, do some thinking. So I didn't think. I didn't fill my heart that I should think such a thing. What's heart and thinking got to do with each other? You think on what's on your heart. So my heart wasn't filled with a thought of seeing you. He was mourning him, right? But not with the thought that he's going to see him. Vayechi Yosef Oisam in Birka. And Yoitzi Yosef, and Yosef took out Oisam, them, meaning his two sons, Menashe and Ephraim, meaning Birka, from the knees of his father. V'yishtachu la'apav arza, and they prostrated themselves towards him, towards their grandfather. They faced the ground. Yeah, Rashi in 12. Yetzer Yosef Haisam, Yosef then removed them. After Yaakov kissed them, right, as it said in verse 10, So now he removed him from his knees, Kidei yashvam, in order to position them, Zeh Yamin, that Menashe should be to the right of Jacob, V'zeh small, and this one to Ephraim to the left. These by Chiyadav Aleihim, so that Yaakov would rest his hands upon them, Levarcham, to bless them. So he placed here, this is Yaakov's right hand. So in front of his right hand is Menashe. Why Menashe? Because Menashe is the older, right? And then to the left hand, who's it going to put on Ephraim? Because Ephraim's the younger one. And that way he would bless them by when he puts his hands upon them. Okay. Let's learn. And they prostrated themselves face down. Went backed away from before his father. "13. Bikach Yosef, and Yosef took Ishneim, both of them, as Ephraim, Biyaminai, with his right hand, means small Israel. So Ephraim's right hand, right to the left of Israel, Yaakov, right? Is Menashe, is Smailai, and with his left hand to stand, right, Biyamin, Israel, Biyigesh Elav. I don't know how to do this, but okay, here's Yaakov. Let's say Yaakov is over here, right? Yosef is now placing them. So he's placing his left hand on Menashe to put him to the right because they're facing each other, right? The right and the left cross then, right? They're opposite each other. So that's what's happening, right? And then he brought him close to him. Rashi. Ephraim at his right, to Israel's left. One who comes to, Rashi says over toward his friend, Yemina, his right, is connected at the opposite of his friend's left. Even Yosef intended that the firstborn should be mezuman leveracha, should be properly prepared for the blessing, right? Because he's on the opposite side, so his left becomes his right. And that way, Yaakov would put his right hand on Menashe, being he is the firstborn. What did Yaakov do? Yishach Israel, and Israel extended, he sent. Like the word shliach means a messenger, right? He sent, meaning he extended, right? A shliach, what is a shliach? Is an extension of the Rebbe, but the one who sent him, right? Again, why am I doing this for you? So you could learn the language. So you understand the connection between words, because Vayishlach Israel is Yemina. He sent Israel his right hand, meaning he extended it. V'yashes, he took his right hand, and it's supposed to go straight like this, right? On Menashe. V'yashes Haresh Ephraim, but he didn't. He put it on the head of Ephraim. He went like this. V'hu Atzayer, and he's the younger one. Besmailai, and his left hand, Haresh Menashe. He went and put it on Menashe. Shikel is Yodav. He crossed his hands. Deliberately. Right. The word actually Sikel doesn't mean he crossed his hands. It means he deliberately. Comes from the word seichel, intelligence. In other words, deliberate, mindfully, right? He placed his hand, ki Menashe b'chor, for he knew that Menashe is the b'chor, is the firstborn. Rashi in 14. Sikel is Yodav. So he moved his hands with intelligence, I mean, should be understood Targuma, Onkelos is understanding, ach, Achkeminun, that he made his hands wise, v'haskel v'chochma, with intelligence and wisdom. Haskel is yadav lekaf, that he made his hands intelligent for this purpose, das, and he acted deliberately. Ki yodea haya ki Menashe b'chor, for he knew, he was fully aware that Menashe was the firstborn. Falpike, nonetheless, leishas yamino alav, he didn't place his right hand upon him. He didn't do that. 15. Vayivarach is Yosef, and he blessed Yosef, and he said, Vayomer, and he said, Elokim asher his halchu avoisai lefanav. So God, may God, before whom my fathers walked before, Avram and Yitzchak, Ha'elokim, Haraya Oisi, and God, who is my Raya, my shepherd, Ma'idi Adayemazeh, from Ma'idi, from still, meaning from my earliest days until today, right? Hamalach Hagayalaisi. So the angel that redeemed me, Mikora, from all evil, he redeemed me, delivered me from all evil. Yivarech Etzana'arim, he should bless these lads. Yikare Bahem Shmi, and he should, and God should call in them Shmi, my name, B'Shem Avoisai, and the name of my fathers, Avram and Yitzchak. Yidgu L'Roi, and they should be like, they should be fish. Dag, the word dag is there, fish. L'Roi, propagate like fish to be plenty, right? V'kerev Aretz, in the midst of the land. Right, literally. Rashi. Final for today, short teachings. Hamalach Agelesi, the angel who redeemed me. Hamalach Haragal Ishtalech Atlai, the angel who was regularly sent to me. Vitzarosi, in my distress. Ki inin shenemar, like the matter which it says about Vayemer Elai Malach Elokim B'Chalaim, and the angel of God said to him in a dream, Yaakov, Ani Chakel Beiskel, I am the God of Beiskel. Where he went to sleep and had the dream of the ladder.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Yivarach Enarim, he should bless these lads. Menashe Ephraim, Menashe and Ephraim. Yidgu, and they should reproduce, means like fish, right? Kidagim halalu, like these fish, shiparim, that they proliferate, verovim, and they're numerous, ve'ein ayin hara, shaletus vehem, and the evil eye has no effect on them. How come the evil eye doesn't have any effect on them? Hmm?
Fish.
So
I know.
why? I'm asking why.
They don't blink. I don't know.
Because they're covered over by water,
Right.
right?
Okay.
They're covered over by water as opposed to, animals on Earth are perceivable. So the idea that the evil eye is only on something that's perceivable, right?
Oh, okay, it's hidden.
That's why, we don't flaunt things we have. We don't flaunt wealth. We don't flaunt, you know, important things to us,
Uh-huh,
right?
uh-huh.
It brings upon the evil eye. We're careful with it,
Puts them in harm.
but yeah, puts it exactly. But fish are covered over by the sea, so that they're not flaunted, right?
Good to know.
Right? That's the concept. Okay, let's see from the Rebbe's teachings. Okay, so this last verse, right? That it says to be, to be numerous like fish. So the Talmud says, what are fish in the sea, just as the sea covers over them, and the evil eye therefore cannot have dominion over them. Likewise, the progeny of Yosef, the evil eye will not be able to harm them. Okay? So the Rebbe says we can say that in a deeper level, right? That's on a simple level. Simple meaning, what does simple mean? What does simple mean? Simple means the more obvious, right? Meaning, but on a deeper level, the virtue, the virtue of the fact that water covers the sea, right, covers over the fish, is not only
Fish.
it, on,
We're doing the resurrection. Really.
isn't only because it's a result. It doesn't just result. In other words, the fact that fish are covered by the sea is not just that it results in that the evil eye cannot have dominion over them, right? Which is, in the end, the sea covering over them is showing it's a negative thing, but there's a positive thing here too, right? In other words, all it is protecting you from something that negative harm shouldn't come to you. That's the idea of the fish are covered by the sea. And that's the idea of Yosef's progeny, right? That they will not have harm come to them, right? But there's a deeper, more positive note over here. So the vessel, in order to merit the God's blessings, is through having a complete bittul before God, right? A complete self-effacement. And And when a person, any creation feels that they are an independent individual, right? And since your being is limited, then you're not able to receive God's blessings. Wow.
The vessel.
Well, just no, just follow,
Yeah.
but follow carefully the point by point, right? Because God's blessing is beyond any limitation. Only when the individual nullifies themselves, you know, before God, then then it's able to God's blessing that's without end to be brought into your life.
The vessel
Wow.
has to be empty. Rabbi. The vessel has to be empty.
You have to be you have to be
You
empty,
mentioned vessel. I know in context.
right? You have to be empty of yourself, not full of yourself, in order to receive God's blessings. Because because God's blessing is infinite and we're finite. So when I feel me and my specialness, forget about that I'm full of myself, even if you're not full of yourself.
Okay.
I'm not talking about you're full of yourself. You just a regular person feels themselves, right? They feel their, but the more that you feel yourself is the more finite you're finite. In order to receive an infinite blessing that comes from God, you, you have to remove your finite feeling, which means nullifying yourself that you are before God, right? That is what makes you the vessel. That makes you the vessel for the infinite blessing, right?
So I can become infinite.
God's blessing will be given to you in an infinite way, right? Exactly.
Wow. That transposes the infinite and the finite. Wonderful.
Um, This is the hinting also to equalize it, or to equate it rather, to the progeny of Yosef to fish, right? That again, fish are covered over by the sea. Fish in their nature, the way God created them, so it's not because they did something, right? But God created them in a way that they are nullified to the water, right? In other words, what does that mean? It means their whole existence is pending on the water. When they are removed from the water, they die. They right move fish from the water, they die. That's the bracha to the progeny of Yosef. That even though they will be completely nullified before God, as fish are nullified to the water, this will bring to additional blessing that is without end.
Kind of practical.
So So again, so the fish, a fish out of water, right, is dead. Meaning when you feel that you're in that in the water, they're alive. In their source, they're alive. Right? They're nullified to their source, and therefore they live. So likewise, if we're nullified to our source in the divine, this gives we live, meaning we're going to get additional blessing from God that will be a bracha that's without end. You didn't say that. I mean, well, in a sense, we do die. Why do we die if we're not? Because we're not getting the blessing from God's holiness that's infinite. But we're getting from the tzimtzum that contracts on the light that makes klipa, which is finite. And you're getting a place that's the other side, which is the side of death. Exactly.
So how do we go about emptying ourselves to receive the
Bittul.
Bittul
Bittul means that it's not about me. It's not about me. That's what it means. It's not about me. It's about what God needs from me. I'm there for God's needs. I'm not there for to fulfill my needs. And to fulfill my needs might be very, maybe it's very lofty.
Mm-hmm.
You got lofty needs. Your need is not whatever I need to eat, drink, and be merry. Your needs are I got to do good. I've got to study Torah. I've got to do mitzvahs. But that's based on you. That's not bittul. Bittul is that's what God needs from me. Right? Some people are religious and they need to do the mitzvah. They need to do the mitzvah because without it they feel empty. Well, then it's all about you.
Can bittul be in a moment, or does it have to be in a moment, or it could be extended?
Well, it's in the moment, and every moment there's a different. That bittul will be in a different frame, right?
Once you off the line, it makes a difference.
Well, I mean, if you don't have bittul in one moment, doesn't mean you can't have it the next moment. And just because you have it in the next moment doesn't mean you'll have it the moment after that, right? It's an ongoing avodah. It's divine service. It's ongoing. It's not like, oh, I have bittul and finished. No, not finished.
It has to begin somewhere.
Hmm?
It has to begin somewhere.
Has to begin somewhere. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it begins with me.
That first step.
It begins with me and ends with me. It's only about me putting my agenda aside, right? My agenda aside, even a holy agenda, we're talking about, right? But it's my agenda. Now, that's the point over here is when I'm fulfilling my agenda, so it's going to be limited because I'm a limited person. But I'm fulfilling God's agenda, what he needs from me, then my impact will be without end.
Can you practice being bittul before you become bittul? I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, we're always practicing it. Yes, it's always going to be a practice because we're not going to have such bittul that it'll be constant. Because sometimes I'm going to do what I want. Let's not fool ourselves, right? Let's not fool ourselves and think that we're going to be so high-minded and so holy. We're gonna,
David gave me an analogy of a duck comes out of the water filled with oil. And it tries to clean each feather, but then it can just give it a shake and all the oil goes off of him. So bittul can be just like that in an instant.
Of course. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, we're going to stop here. We'll see you in a few moments. Bye, Tanya.
Thank you.